nationwide vaping news network. With your editors, Marcy Coyne and Tony Ottamanelli. And now, a special report from our editor, Marcy Coyne.
Okay, well, we're live. Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Gotta meet that.
Hello, hello from Northern California on a rare Sunday.
A rare
Nope,
sunny day?
I had to double check.
You've been getting a lot of rain there, huh?
Oh my God, too much. I feel really bad for the people in the Central Valley because it's all flat there. So
Oh, yeah. I've been hearing you guys
most of
been.
it's paved over these days, so the water just sloshes around.
Uh,
I'm at the 1,300 foot level. I'm in the mountains.
oh,
I'm
okay.
in a podunk town in the mountains, and our lake, which is the oldest natural lake in North America, Clear Lake, is overfull. But I don't live next to the lake. I'm like 3 blocks away and up on a hill. So
Okay.
I can get in and out of town.
Well, since this is
Because
the.
people that
Oh,
have those expensive houses on the lake edge there are not real happy.
since we're going to be uploading this also to YouTube, can you just tell everybody who you are and what you do
Yeah.
and all that sort of
Hi,
good thing?
my name is Kathleen, and I first discovered vaping in 2011. I was doing a photo shoot with my mom, and the assistant was using a Cigalite, and I had never seen or heard of one before because I live in a fairly isolated community. And so I asked her where she got it, and I went and tried it, and it was sort of okay, but then I started looking online. I'm an old IT person, so I do I look up everything and I read everything I can. I do a lot of research. That's just how I am.
Right.
And so slowly, by the end of 2011, I finally found a place online that I could buy egos. And then it was like that's when I stopped being a dual user and became, 100% vaping. Is when I discovered the egos, and because we have a lot of older people here in this county, a lot of old white people, and I thought, well, boy, what a breakthrough! Because I moved here from San Francisco because I needed a quieter life to
Okay.
deal with chronic health issues. And a lot of people move here because it's expensive in the Bay Area, and we're like 120 miles northeast of San
Okay.
Francisco.
Got it.
And so, this is sort of a backwater. And a lot of people are on limited incomes here, and they're older, and they have chronic health problems. And I thought, well, great, this is something I could do. I can use my research skills and do outreach. And boy, there was so much pushback, even to this day. Even at the clinics that I go to get my health needs met, they are still very much caught up in what the public health organizations have put out to confuse people about vaping and what it actually is. And I'm still on step one with these folks. It's amazing because in the Bay Area they're more progressive. In Sacramento, the health professionals there understand what vaping is on a much more reasonable level. But
Hmm.
here, it's just wow.
Right.
I've had been pulled over by a cop thinking that I was using honey oil. That's the first thing they think.
Honey oil?
Yes, that's when you take marijuana and turn it into an oil concentrate,
Oh, like CBD?
Yes, but with all the THC in it.
Oh, so you actually, so you
Yeah, and
actually get high
I
off of
actually
it.
had a sheriff confiscate my e-liquid because I was showing him. He
Ah,
took it.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so that's where I'm at. I mean,
So
people
pretty much,
are
yeah. People pretty
at
much are kind of blind to what you were doing or what you do.
Mhm. Even my own mom. She still is very wary,
Uh,
and her partner thinks it's worse than cigarettes, no matter what I share with them. So it's my level of frustration is just amazing. And then of
yeah.
course, after getting involved in advocacy with CASA and Vaping Militia and Safada, or at least as a cheerleader for Safada, um, the hearings in Sacramento were just like jaw-droppingly ignorant. These people that were creating these laws, and we found out that there were groups that were being paid to go to municipalities and regions, to go to the city councils and such, to rewrite their smoking ordinances to include e-cigarettes. They had all the bullet points, all the verbiage, everything, and then uh, we would have these mad rushes to show up at the city council meetings and stuff and try to educate the whole city council in as fast before they could change the ordinances.
Right.
And we didn't win a lot of those because they had paid people going to those.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a company called Change Labs, and they had a whole campaign, and they were hooked in with the Tobacco Free Kids and Breathe California and the California Health Department to promote the scaremongering of vaping.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we were we were really scrambling to combat the misinformation that was being put out there and then being put into ordinances and rules and laws. And right now in California, as it stands, they have already done you must be 21 or older, and all of the shops and vendors here in California have to register all of the coils and e-liquid with the FDA and also the Board of Equalization
Right.
for taxation, because now there is a tax. And of course, after August 8th, that really threw another wrench in where, of course, the shop owners, unless the person bought the product first, they couldn't show them how to use it.
Yep.
Yep. So that has had a very chilling effect on the vape industry here in California.
Yep.
And now in Washington, they're doing the same thing, and Oregon, the age, and there are like in Contra Costa County, again locally they are saying they're putting a limit on e-liquid flavors, let alone nic level.
Right.
Right. So it's still a never-ending battle in these local municipal skirmishes just to keep what we have.
It is. I agree.
So that's where we're at in California.
Okay. And how long have you been vaping? Well, I'm getting
It's
echo.
2011.
Do you have your the room itself muted?
Oh, all I see is just my little microphone. Maybe I should try and figure out my little. Sorry.
That's okay. I don't hear it now. That's weird.
Oh, okay.
You must have did something right. Yep, you must have did something right. I don't hear it now. Well,
Okay, good.
and you were talking about kids, smoke-free kids and everything. That's a good way to start this off, because that's pretty much what this broadcast is going to be about, is teens and vaping, and pretty much for others to get to know who we are and why we're doing what we're doing. And hi, Meeks. Just to let everybody know, my name is Marcy Coyne. I am the editor, founder of Nationwide Vaping News. I have been vaping now for 5 years, 5 years as of February 9th. I already had my vape anniversary. That's something that we always celebrate. I was broadcasting on VapeNet for about 5 years. I started off with a Cigalite, but my story is a little bit different than a lot of others. I didn't start vaping because of smoking. I started vaping because I didn't want to go back to smoking. I actually stopped smoking in 2008.
Aha.
And I started college. And when I started college, well, the stress came and other people were smoking. And I was just like, oh, I can't go back to that, because if I go back to that, I was so sick. I had COPD. I was on 3 different inhalers. And
Oh my goodness.
yeah, so my ex-brother-in-law was using a Cigalite. And I thought, well, let me try that and see how it works. So I tried the Cigalite. I was vaping on it for about maybe 2 weeks. And I
2 weeks.
and I ran into a show.
2 weeks. And I ran into a show.
Oh, I'm getting a really bad echo from you now.
Uh-oh.
I'm getting a really bad echo from you now.
Uh-oh.
Did you unmute the show? Maybe? Oh, I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Okay. When it started echoing, I muted myself just in case there was a feedback.
It almost sounds like you had the show unmuted on the camera. Well, while you're doing that, I'm gonna go ahead with what I was gonna say. So, like I say, I was vaping on the Cigarette for a while, and then I ran into a show called VapeNet. A lot of us already know about VapeNet. And they introduced me to my first Ego, which I fell in love with. I vaped on that thing for the longest time, which led me to get into my buying habit. I think I have like 50 different models. I still have my first Ego. I saved everything. But in the meantime, I became a strong advocate and activist for vaping. I like to get people motivated, get them off of their butts, and help fight for the right to vape. A lot of you probably seen the different things that I've written. I've actually written 2 things, well, 3 things, and I'm planning on writing more. And that's pretty much it. Like I say, I started this, so I got tired of people going to the news station, getting story done on them, and the stories get twisted. So that's why I started this.
Yep, same here. That's why I started my website, lakeofvape.com, and was, posting all of the information that I was using. Everything that I have read is posted on my website. I've read everything there.
Right.
And so I have it as a referral, and also when I did have my show, that's was part of it as well.
Right.
But yeah, I've been, keeping my website going. but staying in touch with what CASA is doing, what Vaping Militia is doing, what Not Blowing Smoke. I first met Stefan in, I think, 2014 in Sacramento at one of the hearings.
Okay.
Stefan Didat, who does Not Blowing Smoke and so forth.
Yeah, I've met
Cynthia Cabrera when she came to Sacramento to start the NorCal chapter for Zapata.
Okay.
And I got to meet several of the main vendors in Northern California, and I was just in Redding at NorCal Vape. Jeff and Carrie Hess have worked tirelessly, not just to grow their shop and their business, but in advocacy as well. They've donated much of their time and treasure to promote, advocacy.
Right, right.
So they definitely walk the talk. Here in Lake County, where I live, there is vaping materials available, but no to God vape shop. There was one, but it quickly slid into supporting the honey oil makers by selling lots of butane and so forth, and they still sell bongs and stuff. And so, and you'd go in there, and it was just young guys in there that wanting to play with their mech mods and stuff, and it wasn't a real friendly place.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was rather just like a rumpus room. So not to totally diss, but for people like me, that doesn't work. That doesn't fly.
Right, right. I'm the type of person, if I go into a place like that, I pretty much just walk right back out, because it's just not worth it.
No, I'm not into somebody's little clubhouse. I want a vape shop that has what I need, that knows what they're doing, and is also fully in support of advocacy at the same time.
Yep.
Not just running the shop.
Yep. That's it, because we have to be in support of advocacy, and they have to be active in it too. They can't just say, "Oh yeah, I'm part of CASA. See, I've got the sticker."
Or
No,
just
you got to be active.
and not do anything else.
Right. They have to let other people know, this is what you need to do. This is how you need to do it.
Right. They need to
out.
turn their customers into
advocates. Yep. But what
my dream is that someday I would here somewhere in Lake County set up a what I consider a proper vape shop.
Well, that'd be cool. That would be cool.
Yeah. But I have no capital, so.
Yeah, you need that to get one started. But what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to show a little clip of something that probably a lot of people have already seen before, but it will get us into the discussion of what we're going to talk about. I think it's probably about 5 minutes, 5-minute clip. It's an interview that was done. It was an interview that was done a couple months ago from Leo Lee. A lot of us know him. And what was supposed to be done was not done. What was promised to him was not done. So I think this is a good way to start this off. So I'm going to go ahead and get it started, and we'll talk about it afterwards.
Conducted by the University of Michigan sampled teens from all over the country in grades 8th, 10th, and 12th. Parents might be surprised just how young teens are vaping.
You've seen the vape shops. They're in strip malls and shopping centers all over Michigan. Inside, you'll find a variety of flavors, colors, and tools to vape the liquid. And thanks to new regulations put in place in August, vaping materials are illegal for teens to buy.
And it says right on our door, must be 18 or over to enter.
But that may not be stopping teens from taking part. Many people associate vaping with nicotine alternatives, but there are other options.
They carry nicotine inside, but they're also available in what's called 0 milligrams, which means there is absolutely no nicotine in them, and it's just a flavor.
And according to a new study done by researchers at the University of Michigan, that's what is enticing teens, and it's not what researchers were expecting.
The big assumption at the time was that almost all kids were vaping nicotine. To our surprise, we found that 60% said they were not vaping nicotine, but they were vaping just flavoring.
You saw the variety the vape shops offer. Some of them sound like ice cream flavors.
Cherry or banana or chocolate cream, and some of these are very appealing to younger adults.
Even teens as young as 13 are getting involved.
Vaping prevalence, or the number of kids who vape, the percentage who vape, is actually very high. Among 8th graders, vaping is one of the most popular, most common forms of substance use.
As far as what it's doing to teens, there's still not a lot of conclusive research into what the chemical in vaping, propylene glycol, does to someone long term.
There is some initial evidence that may irritate your lungs, but there's still a lot more work that needs to be done.
But that's not the biggest health risk researchers are concerned about with teens. Teens who vape may pick up another deadly habit.
Even among the kids who were vaping who had no intentions to smoke in the future, they were much more likely to start smoking a year later, almost 6 to 7 times more likely. We found that the 12th graders who vaped, who had never smoked in their lives, were about 6 times more likely to start smoking among those who vaped as compared to those who did not vape.
Right now, there's no real connection as to why there is a link, since most teens say they're vaping for flavor, not nicotine. But there is something that is drawing more teens to pick up the deadly habit, and that is something parents need to have on their radar, along with the possibility that vaping may have its own health risks eventually.
So given that smoking is so lethal and it still took decades in order for us to come to that conclusion that those are dangerous, I think it's going to take a long time to show that vaping, propylene glycol, or other substances leads to a health detriment of some type.
Well, the good news, vaping is on the decline for the first year since it came on the scene in 2011. Smoking is also at record lows for teens. For 7 Action News, I'm Brianne Palmerini.
Okay, whoops. I'm sitting here talking. Oh, there we go. Oh, we just got joined by somebody.
Hey, it's me.
Hey, Hunter, how are you?
I feel like garbage, but other than that, I'm okay.
Okay. Well, I don't see you. I just see a black screen.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out that right now.
Okay, all right. Well, now I see something. Kathy, you're still muted, just so you know. There you are. Oh, there you go. You flashed in there for a second.
Wait, there we go. That might do it. This thing is such a pain. I'm trying to figure this all out.
Are you on a laptop or a phone?
Phone.
Oh, okay. I've never used a phone doing this, so.
It popped up earlier. It let me show my camera, so I'm not sure what's going on with it right now.
Okay. Well, we were just showing. Hunter, did you see the broadcast with Leo Lee on the news?
I did not.
A while back ago? Okay. Well, pretty much what we was talking about was teens and vaping and how vaping is going to cause them to smoke and.
Oh, okay, yeah, I have seen that one.
Yeah, that one. So that's what I was showing right now. Kath, what do you think about the broadcast and what it says?
Oh boy, it was pretty choppy for me, so I had to close cam up in order to watch it.
Okay.
But,
Hi, Skulls.
the sound wasn't coming through.
Okay.
But essentially, they make a whole lot of noise about very little.
Right. Hi,
We all
Smiley.
know the drill. We all know the drill. Oh, the kids. Oh.
Right, and that's the thing. They keep saying that the kids are they're vaping at 13 years old and they're going to start smoking and things like that. And it's like, really?
What about all the kids who already started smoking cigarettes at the age of 13? I know a friend of mine who's been smoking since he was 6 years old.
Right. And let me ask you this question, truthfully: how old were you when you started smoking?
I was about
When I started smoking, I was probably 14 or 15.
Right. Sorry about the
Yep,
puppy
I
part.
started out by sneaking a few cigarettes here and there just because, man, I mean, I grew up surrounded by heavy smokers growing up between my oldest brother and my mother, who was smoking 2 to 3 packs of Lucky Strikes a day, and he'd smoke a couple Marlboros,
Right.
And it was rebellion at first, and then I found that it helped with my anxiety. So, coughing cigarettes, drinking cigarettes later on in my teens and 20s. And then I stopped for a while when I had my son in my mid-20s. And then I started again, off to the Navy. And I'm like, I can't do this. My health is so bad. I can't do this.
Right. I actually started smoking when I was 11. And my reasoning was really stupid. Well, of course, any reason to start smoking is not smart, but I saw my brother do it, and I followed him. Him and his friends were smoking, and I said, hey, that looks like fun. So I started smoking at the age of 11, stealing my grandmother's cigarettes and getting cigarettes from friends.
Ashtrays and all that good stuff.
Yep.
Yep.
She would always buy a carton, and she would never know how many packs in there. Every time she bought a carton, I stole 1 pack out of the carton. Of course, a pack would last me a while. They were Raleighs. One of the worst cigarettes you could smoke. Oh, God.
I don't know, Lucky Strikes are pretty nasty.
Raleigh's was the cheapest of cheap cigarettes. And that's what my grandmother and grandfather smoked. And I was smoking those. And then I got to a point where I was finding ways of buying my own cigarettes. And it just became a habit. And yeah, then when I was a very bad teen. I ran away from home, and when I did, the foster care that I was put into allowed us to smoke outside.
Wow. Yeah, I left home just after I turned 15, and
Yep.
the pretty chaotic life in San Francisco during the early punk rock years, and
Right.
smoking and drinking coffee, smoking
Yep.
because you had no food.
Yep. But so them saying that kids are starting vaping at a young age. Well, smoking has already started at a young age. Now, I'm not going to condone it, but to me, this is going to sound bad, but this is just my opinion. Please understand this. This is just my opinion. I would rather see them vaping instead of smoking, but I don't want to see them do it either.
I have talked about that a lot, especially with my friends. And I've got people in shops who agree. Like, if it came down to it, which is what it does, people know that kids smoke, but nobody's saying anything about the kids who are smoking.
Yep.
It's just the kids who are vaping.
Yep.
And when they say teens, like the big news article about teens in high school, they never mentioned how many of them were 18 in high school who were seniors who vaped. And they mentioned how many of them got it legally. They also never mentioned that kids who buy vapes generally don't use nicotine when they vape. They like the flavors that the juice comes in.
Yep. And that was actually an article that I read. There are a lot of teens out there that are just doing it for the flavor. They're not getting the nicotine in their e-cig.
And I've got to say that's a hell of a lot better than smoking clove cigarettes, what I used to do in my earlier teens.
Right.
God.
Right. But their reasonings are so crazy. Now, yes, product infringement, I'm against. But vaping or having a ice cream flavored vape or a candy vape, I vape butterscotch all day long for 5 years. That's a candy vape.
Adults like candy too. Like, all I vape is breakfast cereal.
Right.
I love it.
Do we does it become when we turn 18 we don't like these flavors? No. We still like
No.
these flavors. So what's the difference is if we vape it now or vape it when we were a kid? It doesn't make sense. They're acting like we don't like these flavors, and that's not true. I don't want a tobacco flavor. I think tobacco vapes are nasty. They're too much like a cigarette.
Well, for me, making health changes was cutting back on the amount of carbs and things in my diet and sugar. So vaping really helped deal with, at first you feel like you're being deprived when you're not eating a chocolate croissant or something like that. But now I can vape those flavors, and that makes a big difference to me.
Yep.
It makes it less likely that I would, fall back into bad habits.
Yep. And I'm in the same boat since my gastric bypass. I can't have a lot of sweets because if I do, I get sick. So what's better? Vape it.
Right.
It doesn't
And a
have
year
the
ago,
excess. Yep. It
a
doesn't have
year
the
ago,
sugar.
I had gastric sleeve surgery because at that time I was borderline diabetic and my cholesterol was through the roof and everything. And then post gastric sleeve, now I'm okay. Several medications I don't have to take anymore, and staying within my new diet that is high protein, low carb, low sugar. Vaping is definitely a tool for staying on track.
Oh yeah, because it allows you to have all those things you can't have normally guilt free.
Yep. Very true.
Yep, and I need nicotine because I have problems with depression, anxiety, and PTSD that has been going on since childhood. And nicotine helps me with my mood disorder.
Yep.
Oh yeah, if I didn't vape, if I had never gotten into vaping, I would probably still be smoking a pack and a half a day of Marlboro Reds.
Yep.
I was smoking 2 packs a day of Marlboro Milds. When I was driving truck, though, I was smoking 3 to 4 packs a day.
Yep.
And the only
The
reason
more
is
stress, the more smoke.
yeah. Well, when you drive your truck, though, a lot of it burns off, so that's why it was so much. But still, that's a lot. And you're looking at what, $5 a pack? Imagine
Yeah.
$20 a day, and that's at a high. $20 a day for cigarettes. That's expensive. That's $140 a week.
Like count that up over time.
And not only that, my ex that I was with driving truck with, he smoked a half a carton a day.
Wow.
He was a heavy smoker. So between him and I, we were spending $250 a week just on cigarettes, if not more.
Yeah. Now, is that a drug habit or what?
Right? It felt like it. It really did.
And then add coffee to that.
Oh yeah, we both were big time coffee drinkers. We would literally park our truck, go into the truck stop, and sit there and drink coffee for 2-3 hours.
Dude, I couldn't do that. I would get headaches from hell.
Yeah, I used to sit there and drink coffee. Even when I drove by myself, I would at night because that's when I would stop. I would go in there. I would stop, go inside, drink coffee for 2 to 3 hours, go back to my truck, go to sleep. That's how addicted I was. I could sleep on coffee.
Yeah, well, after about cup 5, that's when it would have the retro effect and make me sleepy.
People look at me like, you're sitting there drinking coffee just before you go to bed. Yep, I'll still sleep.
Yep.
What is that ball in the middle of your screen, Hunter?
That is a light. My camera's working. It's just super dark because here's me and there's my other light.
Okay.
And I'm in the camera right now.
I'm sitting there seeing a ball bouncing around. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's just my light. I don't know what the heck the problem is.
Okay. We need to
I'll
get you
switch the camera and register.
Oh, now you're lighter.
See?
There you are.
Oh, hey there.
There you are. Hunter, while we have you here, why don't we do this real quick? Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Hunter Jones. I have been a smoker for 3 or 4 years, and then when I turned 16, my friend was like, Hunter, vaping is the new thing now. Like, people are starting to vape. You should try it out. I actually have my first mod. I'll go grab it for you. Just for a throwback, you guys will all know exactly what device I'm talking about. It's old. It's old.
Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna say it's either gonna be MVP or a lava tube. What do you think, Kath?
I got some 16 in here.
It's got to be a mech mod.
I can't see it. Oh, it's a mech mod, isn't it?
It's an Ego T.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have my first Ego too. Hell, I got pretty much almost all my devices that I.
Oh, let me pull out my little drawer here. One of the Cigalikes that I tried, because it turned out the first one I tried, the threads on the 510 were reversed, so you could only use their product.
Oh yeah, I love those ones. It's like wait a minute.
So weird.
Yep.
Wet flame. This piece of garbage.
Okay.
The second one I had.
And you probably spent an arm and leg on that, didn't you?
Yeah, I still have parts sitting here. And then when my research got better, I found out about the ketos and then went from there.
Okay.
But like I said, I've been on my own. I don't have vapors to hang out with. I had never had. There's people that vape in Lake County, but in fact, there was even an e-liquid manufacturer here, and I tried to get hooked up with them, and they ignored me the whole time. So screw that.
Okay.
But they're gone now. So, but yeah, it was really weird because I'd see them at the expos and cons and try to talk to them about well, what we could do in Lake County, and they were so not doing it.
Right. So
that is crazy.
It is.
It's just been a massively frustrating slog for me to do advocacy from where I'm at. And it's so bizarre because, the Bay Area is just on the other side of the mountains from me. Sacramento, the Valley, all that, everything, there's vape shops galore, but Lake County is like a dead zone. It's weird.
Doesn't California already have the 21 and older?
Oh, yes, they do.
Yeah, she was talking about California earlier.
I was talking earlier that there's still groups that are going to municipalities and trying to get even more restrictive ordinances on vaping.
Why?
They buy into the scare tactics of public health.
The problem is, and this is my opinion only, but the problem is FDA and big tobacco are losing money. So
Tons. There's an article that I'm gonna have to hunt down that my friend gave to me a while ago, almost probably a half a year, and it was talking about there is legal legislation between the FDA and cigarette corporations. It's been going on for years.
TSA. That is the big fund that they paid into, that counties or states have been borrowing against future tobacco sales, which have been going down and down, and so now they're actually in the red because they borrowed on future anticipated payouts from the NTSA.
right.
And California's right there with it.
Yep. And
And
because
I totally agree that they're threatened by the vaping industry as a whole.
Yep.
Because there's so much money to be made there. Otherwise, they would make their own knockoff e-cigarettes.
oh yeah.
And here in California, we also have the Indian casinos that are selling cigarettes tax-free and
Right.
cheaper.
Yep.
So
I remember going to those driving trucks. And like I said, the big problem is they're losing money. Big Pharma's losing money because nobody's buying the Chantix. Oh, did you hear the newest one? Chantix says they're going to stop putting their warning labels on.
Yep, no black box label on Chantix.
I was like, whoa, wait a second. That's crazy. How can they do
So they're not going to tell people that it can cause suicidal thoughts or tendencies, or can cause depression, or it can.
There's a lot of side effects.
We have.
Yep, that's going to be taken off of the Chantix boxes. But yet, vaping, they say, is got to have all these warning labels on them.
That's a slap to public health, like just as a whole.
Yep, I agree.
Kilo e-liquid, the black label bottles and the white ones. They have diacetyl still in their juice. I was reading on their website, and they talk about how vape juice can contain particles of metal, how theirs contains diacetyl and a couple other chemicals that the FDA has already banned from e-liquid production.
Wow.
Yeah, talk about how smoking increases your risk for cancer or other smoke-related diseases, all kinds of stuff. Like, they've sold themselves out to try to get saved when tobacco, if they win. Without they will.
I'm going to say this about the diacetyl controversy is the problem is we're always exposed to diacetyl. How many of us have actually gotten popcorn lung from it? And is it okay? Did you say zero?
The people that have worked in the factories.
That's it. The people that work in the factory.
They were exposed to, such heavily concentrated amounts of this stuff. It was insane.
And yeah,
people don't realize that they're exposed to way more toxic chemicals with new furniture than they are with vaping.
Yep.
In a room full of hundreds of vapors.
Very true.
For extended periods of time.
Very true. Very true.
There's also heavy amounts of diacetyl in cigarettes, but it's still in parts per million, and it's nowhere near as concentrated as those people saw. And only a handful of smokers have ever gotten popcorn lung.
Yep.
Yes, it's the amount. Everything's a poison, depending on the dose.
Mm-hmm.
The dose, the poison is the dose.
Yep.
And so that they had to.
Yeah, he's gonna ban the sale of mushrooms because all mushrooms are poisonous if you eat enough of them.
Hell, anything can be poisonous if you eat enough of it. So, I mean, what do we do? Stop living? because everything can be
Yeah,
poisonous?
stop breathing oxygen. I mean, oxygen is the number one thing that's going to kill us.
Yep.
I did a research project for science class when I was still in high school that talked about if we were alive long enough, our lungs would get oxidized because of all the stuff we breathe in.
Yep.
So are we going to replace our body parts with metal? Are we going to tell people, okay, you can't breathe anymore. Breathing is bad. It's going to kill you. Drinking water is bad. It's going to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
So
But
yeah,
we have
blowing out of proportion these chemicals that they have been finding in these flawed studies, like dry hits. Who's going to do that? And it is, yes, there exists with using very specialized equipment that they can find these trace amounts,
Right.
but it's nowhere near the poison dosage.
Very true. And Cookie
So
just made
on that they found this particular whatever chemical you want to say, but it's the dosage.
Yep. Cookie just made a good point. She said approximately 800 times more concentrated in cigarettes, the diacetyl, and we don't know if any cigarette smokers have ever been diagnosed with popcorn lung.
I think there might be like 5 or 6 people in the history, and those were like people who smoked like a carton and a half a day.
To smoke that much a day, they're lucky to even be breathing.
Yeah, like the amount of cigarettes in general you need to smoke is incredible, and that at that point is already extremely damaging to your health.
Yep, it is.
It just makes no sense. Like if the FDA was concerned about our health and safety about vaping, then the restriction and regulation would be stuff that helped consumers. It wouldn't have been telling shops that shops couldn't tell people how to run their devices. Like if shops could do their job properly, we wouldn't have people like, I assume you guys have heard of Andy, the guy with the able that exploded.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, we wouldn't have that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If they could have told him how to use his device, he would still be in 100% mint condition, and he wouldn't have had to, get his teeth put back in his mouth.
Right. And that's a big thing, These shops need to do it the right way.
Stop upselling and start educating.
Yep. You can't. I'm sorry. You can't sell a newbie RDA and say, "Okay, here you go." Okay, what do I do with it?
Oh, I'm 75 years old and you've smoked most of your life, but you want to get into vaping. Here's an RX 300. Enjoy it.
Yep. You can't do that. It can't be done because they're not going to know what to do. They're not going to know how to put the batteries in correctly. They're not going to know. Okay.
Or they may, there is the learning curve, and this is what advocacy is supposed to be filling in, is that when the people leave the shops and they start having issues, either they stop vaping completely because they feel embarrassed to go back to some, young Broham dude in the shop that was talking really fast and sold it to them, and they're having a very simple problem, but they don't know they don't know the language, they don't know the lingo, they are still in the very beginnings of the learning curve, so they'll just stop vaping. And or if they spend a lot of money on their first vape and then they lose it or something happens, it gets stolen, whatever,
right,
they don't have the money to replace it right away.
Right. But unfortunately now, with the FDA's hands in it, it's making it harder for the shops to show them the correct way of using it.
Absolutely. It's against the law now.
Yep.
Unless the person buys the item first, you cannot hands-on show them how to use it and repair it.
And they can't show them how to build a coil because...
A couple of our shops in town, and primarily the main one I go to in town, loopholes around that and shows them how to use it while it's still the shop's property before they purchase it.
Okay.
But when they leave the shop, though, that's when the problems happen. And so that's where they need support outside of the shop.
I mean, if I owned a shop, let's say the FDA regulations wasn't going down right now. If I owned a shop and somebody bought a device, bought a RX200 and a Alliance RDA, and I showed them what to do, and they left the shop, they did fine for a couple weeks, and they came back and said, "Hey, this isn't working right." I should be able to help them.
Yep.
But now you can't.
Nope. So you have to have your friends hanging out in the shop so that you can help the people that come in.
You would almost have to have somebody that you know in the shop
that isn't on the payroll
to
or
help
getting
you.
any kind of free anything.
Yep. Or even pay them under the table.
Because if you get caught, you'll go to jail.
Yep.
They'll make an example of you.
Yep. And which that's already been started. Examples are being made. Vintage Vapors has got a lawsuit going on right now. I just saw it on Facebook the other day. I don't exactly know what the lawsuit. I think they were talking about how they're claiming that Vintage Vapors is telling people that vaping is healthier than smoking.
Oh, right. His claim. Yeah, yes, because of what he had promoting his shop. It's in Vermont. Vintage Vapors in Vermont.
Yep. And, the FDA regulations are just messing up the vaping community.
And
the
they're
vape
written
shops.
so poorly that they're very difficult without help
Yep.
to understand exactly what they need.
Yep. How much
And
is
as a matter of fact, the shop I was at in a couple weeks ago, they have to pay somebody to go through and read what the FDA puts out. And he's a paralegal.
Right.
So he goes through it and parses what it actually means for them because it's so written so obtusely.
Mm-hmm. Where is Vintage Vapors? I want to find out how much.
In Vermont.
No, I'm talking about on
Yeah,
And the crazy
$1,000
just shows like the FDA is because Britain came out 3 or 4 years ago when they had the entire medical board for the Royal College of Physicians, the most well-known and well-respected medical field group in the world, who said it's 95 to 98% safer than smoking cigarettes.
Yep.
So then whose science are we supposed to believe? Are we supposed to believe independent paid researchers from the FDA handpicks? Or are we supposed to believe a board of hundreds of doctors who sat down and for years did research and came back to the conclusion unanimously that this is much safer
Clive
than
Bates has
anything else?
devoted years to debunking and dissecting these quote unquote studies that get published. You can go to PubMed and all kinds of stuff pops up. But he's gone step by step. Him and Michael Segal have gone through and broken down each of these purported studies and pointed out their inaccuracies and the problems that they have with the information, how they got the information, how they cherry-picked from the information, how even the studies themselves did not reflect on what the commentary was saying. And this has been going on for a number of years, and it, like I say, my frustration level is so high.
Medical institutions for America in it. The American Lung Association's behind it.
Oh yeah, all the Oregon NGOs are totally against vaping. Absolutely.
Hands out.
And they have spent a lot of money, including the California Department of Health has spent millions and millions of dollars disseminating marketing misinformation about vaping.
Yep.
Our own California Department of Health and other states too. There was recently the brouhaha about how date rape drugs were being put into e-liquid. The state of Georgia was paying for this dissemination of this scare. It's insane.
It is. It's completely insane. I mean, there's so much bad publicity going on about vaping that it's unreal. It really is unreal. I mean, I've seen so much, especially since the FDA regulations came out. I've seen more since the FDA regulations
Oh
came
yeah,
out.
absolutely.
And it's like, wait a minute, where are they getting this information from? Where? I want to know where this information is coming from.
It's
Well,
coming from history background. People that they're like, oh well, this person in so and so and so and so place, this John Doe, showed us that this and this is real. So let's put this in an article so people will see that this company's name is on it and they'll believe it.
Yep.
if you go to notblowingsmoke.org, it was. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I'll mute myself.
MechMod mishaps. I've seen far more battery venting problems. I've seen far more people in the hospital for injuries than I've ever seen before the regulations were put in place.
Yep.
Obviously, there's a correlation between somebody doing something there and people not being able to have this information, and it's negatively impacting anybody who vapes.
Right. It's crazy. Oh, the company's name is Vermont Vapors, and they're facing a $50,000 fine over marketing. That's what it was.
Well, I'm going to head out, and I thank you very much for having me on your show and letting me talk a little bit about myself and what's the vaping environment in California. And I will be back another time.
All right, hon. All right.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll start getting some more shows going so we can get this going a little bit better.
Oh yeah, that would be amazing. It was nice to talk. I enjoyed very much having a conversation with you about this. It's definitely a topic that I have put my life into.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. We'll get some more shows going. Oh wait a minute, we got some stuff going on in chat here. Let's see. Smiley Liquid says current e-cigarette users at baseline were no more likely to progress to current smoking than young adults who were not using e-cigarettes. So students who were vapors at the beginning were no more likely to become regular smokers than those who didn't use e-cigarettes at all. That's true. The conclusion of the study abstract also leaves out the finding that current vapors were Hi Oliver, hi Julie, were no more likely than non-vapors to start smoking, yet the authors arrive at the view that limiting young adults' access to e-cigarettes may be beneficial despite failing to produce any evidence of net public health harm from young people's vaping. Out of the sample of 300. Let me try that again. Out of the sample of 3,757 students, just 6 transitioned from vaping to smoking. But before the anti-e-cig enthusiasts jumped into the statistic, insignificant number sequel points out that another 20 students who had used cigarettes at the baseline stopped smoking and were exclusively using e-cigarettes at the follow-up. A further 45 students who were dual users at the beginning were only vaping by the end. Electronic cigarettes use an uptake of cigarette smoking. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that word because I know I'm going to mess it up. Examination use college students. Smiley, do you have the link to that study? I'm going to have to change the purple background. It's a little bit too much. If you can put that in the chat, I want to look it up and I want to read it.
Me?
Smiley.
All right.
All right, sounds good. How are you doing, Julie? I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to put this in the other group, but yeah, this was kind of. Well, I think I did put it in the other group. As a matter of fact, I would have to look. So, what are your thoughts on the new Cole Bishop bill? Have you read it?
I have not read it yet, but after seeing what Cole Bishop was doing before, because I followed Grim Green talking about the Cole Bishop Amendment and our right to be smoke free and the right to be smoke free coalition, I support Cole Bishop. If Cole Bishop is sitting there fighting for us, I will support him.
Right.
Because it is like they don't talk about that, like the kids who were smoking, who were underage, who then switched to vaping, who then is exclusively using cigarettes.
Yep.
I was a part of a study for the Moffitt Cancer Center about smoking and e-cigarette use, and when I got the paperwork for the first couple things I did for them, it talked about how to use e-cigarettes as a proper guide for smoking cessation.
It actually said that?
Yeah, it had a handbook, and it's like, this is what e-cigarettes are for. They can be used as a smoking cessation tool. It's been found by numerous organizations that the use of electronic cigarettes by people who are trying to quit smoking has shown positive results.
Wow.
Yeah, they want to see they do it's a 2-year study, and I was only a part of it for a month or two because they were like, you've already shown us enough now that you've quit smoking and transitioned to vaping. So they have heavy smokers, and over this 2 years, they send them information about where to get like e-cigarettes, how to use them properly, and to see if it cuts down to people who are heavy smokers, and see if it can get them to wean off cigarettes.
Okay.
A 2-year study, and they pay you for these surveys that you fill out. They're like, we want this information. They've just been stockpiling. I've talked to them a few times about it.
Right.
And they are super, the information I got was actually for an organization like that, pretty good for educating people who are probably older who may not know what vaping is in general.
Right.
But it's super good. And I think if more people realize that kind of stuff, we would be in a much different position. Because if the FDA is worried about money, e-cigs are the way to go. People don't want to smoke.
Yep.
And Cole Bishop is right. It's my right to be smoke-free. If I don't want to smoke cigarettes, but I want nicotine, I should have that option.
I agree.
Especially since none of these studies and none of these large organizations, especially like the American Muslim Association or any of them, none of them talk about the kids who are addicted to cigarettes or how harmful cigarettes are.
Oh no!
I don't see a warning label on my e-cigarette bottle that says the Surgeon General says using this can cause cancer, like I do on a pack of cigarettes.
Yep. And that's the thing, all these kids that are out there smoking, and I'm sorry, I see kids smoking all the time. I literally, I want to take that cigarette out of their hands. But if they transfer or change to vaping, they would be a hell of a lot better than what they're doing to themselves at the moment. Now, I don't condone them doing it, but I would rather them do that than smoking.
And what they're trying to do is they're trying to do what people have been doing with cigarettes for years. It's just a thing you can't police. It's like the prohibition on alcohol. Yep. When you tell somebody they can't do something, they can't drink or they can't smoke, they're going to go find ways to do it anyway.
Yep.
If a kid wants an e-cig, it's not like the internet is super hard. You go to eBay and you look up a mod and you buy it.
Oh, yeah. Go on eBay. Yeah. On Fast Tech.
Oh, sorry. I continue. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I was going to say they can go on eBay. They can go on Fast Tech. They can go pretty much anywhere as long as they can show somebody else's. Even now, they can show somebody else's ID and say it's not for them. There are so many ways that a teenager can get an e-cig.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like if they were to, all they're gonna do, and I think they should realize this if they haven't already, is they're just gonna create a black market for e-cigarettes. People already have devices, so it's not like even if you restrict it and stop the sale of them, that people aren't gonna get them.
Right.
I mean, people aren't supposed to sell stuff after August 8th, like new products. Yet I've seen people with Smock G at 350s
Oh yeah.
walking around, or G Privs or H Privs. And all they're going to do is they're going to put these people to have to go to people's basements to buy e-liquid, or they're going to have to go online and buy mods. It's not going to stop anything. They're just going to lose more money anyway.
Yep.
And now people overseas in China mass producing mods.
Yep. And the thing of it is when they start selling it. Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, Smiley. The problem is that they're going to be buying black market. Who's to say buying black market isn't going to be more dangerous?
Yeah, like I don't know what a person could put in their juice that they make in their basement.
They could take one of their old batteries that has a problem with it and sell it.
Sell some back mod and be like, here you go.
Yep.
Have fun vaping.
Yep. There's so many problems with this, and my thought is, if it gets to the point, I'm going to go out and buy myself some vegetable glycerin, flavorings, and nicotine. Well, I can get to
Yeah, it's not hard. Like they're trying to restrict it so much that it's going to get to the point where they can't do anything about it.
Yep.
Ever.
Yep.
They're pushing all the legitimate businesses out, and then they're going to be stuck with a massive market that they know they can't touch.
Mm-hmm.
And it's insane. Like they are. They're all like, think about the children. And if it came down to the children, I would prefer, and I've talked to a couple different vape groups about it, I would much rather see kids over the age of 15 vaping than smoking, because I know how many kids out there already smoke cigarettes.
Most definitely. There's more kids out there smoking cigarettes than vaping, but you hear about them vaping. How much sense does that make?
Yeah, you hear about the kids in high school who are vaping, but they never, ever make mention of what grades the kids are in, what the age of the kids are, or how many kids in high school are old enough to legitimately buy vape gear.
Yep.
And they're so concerned about playing the think of the children card when cigarettes have been marketing to children for years and they've never put a stop to that. And it's not like vape shops go out and are like, kids should buy this. All vape shops already ID'd. They made sure that the kids weren't in their store.
Mm-hmm.
Like the things that they're trying to regulate or restrict were already happening in the vape community on its own, because they didn't want that kind of stuff, because it's just nothing but bad PR.
Right.
But just stop somebody's mom from going in without their kid, buying a vape setup, and then giving it to their kid.
Oh, it happens all the time. I guarantee that.
I know a couple of kids from my high school who are underage who they got it. My friend got a mech mod off the internet, off eBay, and he was 15.
Yep.
Like, they're doing nothing but putting us in harm's way by not allowing people to help, or by punishing people who are trying to help these people.
Definitely.
And it just makes no sense.
And now you're seeing shops closing because of it, which is so sad. You know, I have a friend that he's talking about that if things don't change, they're going to have to close. And granted, you know, they possibly go out and get another job. But the way things are these days, it's not that easy.
Big an impact on people's lives is this thing. Like, they don't understand how many lives have been changed and how many people's lives have been potentially saved by these shots.
Yep.
By people talking to them and saying, well, this is much safer than smoking cigarettes. This is going to help you breathe better. It's going to help you be able to do stuff you couldn't do before when you were smoking. It's going to help you be able to actually go out and live life without looking and smelling like an ashtray, without having problems breathing or developing emphysema or any of these other crazy lung diseases that you're going to get from smoking.
Right.
I mean, there's a 4-minute Facebook video that sums it up almost perfectly. It's a dude's in a doctor's office, and the chick's like, we're going to test your carbon monoxide. Smoke this cigarette. Dude takes a puff or two, and he's like, all right, once the smoke's out of your lungs, breathe through this tube.
Oh, I
Carbon
seen that.
monoxide, 10. He breathed, I think, a 10 for this carbon monoxide detector,
Yep.
which is crazy bad. The doctor was freaking out. She was like, this is terrible. And she was like, all right, now use this e-cig, and then I want you to do the same thing. And so he took a drag of the e-cig, and he did the breath detector again, and his carbon monoxide was 0.
Yep.
There was none of it in his lungs. And if that right there isn't enough proof to people at the FDA or organizations like that it's obviously safer. It's not putting a chemical that can kill you in large quantities in your lungs.
Right.
Then nothing's going to get to them. They're obviously not concerned about our safety, and they're concerned about the money. Because I know kids who are in 4th grade that could have been like, well, that's bad, but that's not bad.
Very true. Very true. Very true.
They're running in logical circles. That's how you can tell that's how you can tell when a person is at wit's end with arguments, is that they resort to morality. Think of the children. Oh, what about the children? Or what about this? And we're going to be awful if these people start doing this thing.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
And it just makes no sense.
It doesn't. It doesn't. I totally agree with that. It doesn't. But, all right. Well, we've been on here for over an hour. So at this time, I'm going to stop the broadcast. I think it's a good time to stop it at this point. What do you think? Or you want to talk some more? Hunter? I think I lost him. Okay. I think I lost Hunter. So, all right, people. I thank you for joining us tonight. And we will try to start doing more shows. We'll get a schedule going to get some shows done. And start getting some news out to you. Some vaping news. How does that sound? And we will talk to you all later. You all have yourselves a good night.